everyone, EC22X here, and I know it's been a while, but man, the Ray Draft League is officially out. We have crowned our champion, and it was a roller coaster. So the last time we watched this video, we were in week 7, entering into week 8, and as mentioned, week 8, we pretty much had top 6 guarantee on most of our players. We only had the last 2 spots that were going to be battled between the Alolan, Agilash, Feisty, Scrafty, Joe K, and Pokeson. Those were the 4 remaining spots that we were not sure if they were gonna make it, and it all depended whether or not they were gonna get a free win, or maybe they were battling, and stuff like that. But things happen. It ended up working for some players. It didn't end up working for the others. But at the end of the day, I do want to thank all my participants. I really appreciate it, especially my Season 1 players coming back again. Sword and Shield is almost over. As I'm recording this video, we only have 3 more days until Scarlet and Violet. So I had to get this done, get this out, and with no further ado, this is our top A teams. So congratulations for our returning top A, which is San Diego Palkia and Mawile Murkrow. From my Season 1, they both end up coming back. They both also end up in the same side of the bracket. Feisty Scrappy, funnily enough, Ducky ended up making it by Joe K actually giving his win to Jackie, so she doesn't go OX. So thank you, Joe K. And then I believe there was another bye going on. But yeah, even though Sven did beat Ducky to guarantee his spot, because his spot was the most dicey, a couple of other matches didn't work out for other people. So it ended up really working out for Scrafty and Ella, because the Mawile Murkrow and the Newburgh Loud Puppies actually were playing on week 8, and they ended up playing now in top A. So Mawile Murkrow actually gave their win to the puppies. So this is actually pretty good for Ally, because now he didn't have to show what he was gonna get. So gives him, and there is a potential rematch between the San Diego Palkias and Mawile Murkrow, because in Season 1, Mawile Murkrow actually knocked down San Diego Palkias out of top 8 right away. But that's our left side of the bracket. On the right side, we got a week 1 rematch of Sven versus Johnny, and then I believe it's also a rematch from between Pokeson and the Sogaleo. So really gonna be everyone here has mostly played with each other except the Murkrows and the puppies. So looking forward to all these amazing 8 matches. But before that, I have Jaden, who was graciously gonna be talking a couple about half of the left side. He's gonna talk about the left side top teams, showcasing their journey to top A. Meanwhile, I will be talking to the other side, the right side, of how they made it into top 8.
And now we're going to start having a look at the top 8 teams. So what we're going to do here is we're going to look at 4 teams each. So I will look at the top 4 teams. So seeds 1, 2, 3, and 4, while Izzy will be looking at the teams that finished in the bottom 4 of the top 8, so seeds 5, 6, 7, and 8. So the first team we'll be looking at is Angelo's team, the San Diego Palkia, and he has got a very standard Celesteela Rain, Garchomp combination with just a lot of good stuff on it, and this is the number 1 ranked team after the regular season. He went 7-1 during the season and only lost to Johnny, who we will get to soon. So overall, been a very competitive, very good season for Angelo. To be pretty much expected that the Celesteela Rain team makes playoffs and sits at the top of the rankings to finish the season off. This is just a archetype that just dominates draft leagues. So yeah, he made one change, and that was dropping the Articuno for the Best Spirit. 100% agree that was the correct play. Articuno was good as a flying type, but he wasn't really gonna contribute anything when you have the Celesteela present, because Celesteela is just a much better flying type in general than Articuno. Better defensive typing, not fire, steel flying is much better than that ice flying type. Mesprit also is a Pokemon that can be offensive, but it can also be a decent support mon. So pretty much like this transaction from Angelo. But yeah, this is the team. Didn't really much need too many transactions. It's solid enough, and quite honestly, is deserving, in my opinion, to be quite honestly the favourite to win the league, and it's in the hands of a very good player as well. So Angelo should get very far in this playoffs run. Next up, we have the number 2 seed, if I can get my finger on it, which is Johnny, aka the California Crawdons, and he has brought the Metagross team. Now, this is a team I was a bit iffy on in the preseason. Like, I love Metagross with a Bulldoze Procker, and this team doesn't really have that present. But its versatility, I think, is what got it to this position. Ninetales with an Ice Shard proc can proc Sceptile, it can proc Goodra, there's Shadow Snake off Spiritomb into Metagross. You can run Weakness Policy on the Thunderous, another Pokemon I completely forgot. You could do for. You have Trick Room and Foul Play P2, you have Brutal Swing, supportive Thunderous with Metagross. You have Urshifu for nice clean up. So, looking at this team now, I can see why it got to second seed. This is the only team to have beaten Angelo's team in the regular season, which is honestly quite a surprise. Which is honestly not too surprising, since it doesn't match up horribly into it. But yeah, he went 6-2 to finish this season off. His only 2 losses coming in week 2 and week 7, which was against KD and where's the other one? Just looking at the document to find him, and Diamond, who didn't make playoffs. But yeah, he made 2 transactions, dropped the Jellicent for the Togetic. You lose a water type, but you don't really, but it's okay. You don't exactly really need Jellicent. I feel like the Togetic is much better on this team. Togetic plus Goodra and Metagross is good enough. And drop the Nidoqueen for their Ditto. That's an interesting one, because I'm not a massive fan of Ditto in draft, and Nidoqueen does have Shift Force, which means it can be quite a good cleanup option. But to be completely fair, that role really is for Urshifu. So, I understand why. So, yeah, for a team I didn't rank very highly in the preseason, it's done really well, and ultimately just shows the power of Metagross. And once again shows that the 2 most powerful steel types in Dynamax Draft League rise to the top once again. Celesteela and Metagross are back in their 1-2 positions where they should be. Next up, we have the number 3 seed, which is Pokesun's Smoking Trampas. Now, this is a team that's characterized by its hyper offense. You have your PZ, Clefairy, you have your Talonflame and your Dracovish, alongside your Regidrago. Defiant Braviary, huge power, Diggersby, very powerful. It's designed to take quick KOs and end games very quickly. No transactions for this team during the regular season, so we can't really talk about those. But I can understand why this team got the third. It's so offensive. If you prep wrong or lead wrong, it's pretty much game over. Because if you don't prep for PZ, but instead you prep for like Dracovish, Regidrago, PZ beats you. You prep for PZ, you may not have prepped for Regidrago. There's so many options in this team, and I actually really like it. Being a bit of a hyper offensive type of person. Sorry about that, just need to get a little bit of drink. But yeah, this is a team that can be very hyper offensive. And that's normally a pretty good strategy for Draft League to literally just go in with a team that can take KOs very quickly. Though their regular season was also a 6-2, just like Johnny's, with their losses coming in week 3 and week 7. That would be against. The week 3 loss was against 45 Mice, which is not a terrible opponent to lose against because 45 Mice is a very good player. And week 7 lost to Sven. So, as you might see in the playoffs, in the final standings, two players that have made playoffs. So, no real loss there to lose to those type of teams. But if you do end up meeting them in playoffs, you can know what you roughly did wrong and you can just bounce back. But I fully believe this team can do some damage because this team is super hyper offensive. It may struggle against some bulkier stuff, like for example the Metagross and Angela Celesteela, but it can certainly do some real damage if put in the right position. And the final team that I will be covering before I hand it back over to Izzy so she can cover the final teams is the number 4 ranked seed, aka the reigning champion, Ally Switch is bang. So, Ally Switch, again, like Pokesun, made no transactions for the season, and that's understandable because you look at this team, it's pretty well rounded. You've got Togekiss, Grimmsnarl, Gengar for like shenanigans. You've got Gastrodon, Executor alone, not the best grass type, but it's serviceable. Conk is a very good Trick Room Pokemon, which has good ways to set up that Trick Room. Landorus, Vikavolt, it's a very good Pokemon there. Vikavolt and Copperajah Pokemon, the Trick Room, alongside Pokemon like Gastrodon and Alone Executor. Very well rounded, it can go both ways in terms of speed. And of course, Ally is the reigning champion, so he's a very good player and will obviously want to go back to back. We'll talk about his season. He also went 6-2. Interesting fact: he won. Oh no, I thought he won every game 2-0 that he did win. Turns out he didn't win 2-0. But he lost in week 4 and in week 8. I believe his week 8 game was a forfeit loss. He knew he had playoffs unlocked, so he just forfeited the week, if I remember correctly. But his week 4 loss was against, if I see here, was against Johnny. So he lost to the Metagross team. So, yeah, I think that's not really going to be much to Ally. He's good enough to adapt to that, and if they play each other again, and just find out what he did wrong, review the set, and really just bounce back and probably take that win. So he's probably, I'd say, unless which behind, he's right behind Angelo as a potential champion of this league. So I will hand it back to Izzy, and I should be back for the top 4 in the grand finals stuff, analysis stuff, like what I just did here. So anyway, I'll hand over to Izzy, and she will wrap up the final 4 teams, which will be the seeds 5 to 8. So Izzy, take it away.
All right, so now it's my turn, and then we on the first red side, our top seed on that, we have third seed Johnny. Johnny actually did one crucial pick, one crucial trade, which was that Jellicent goal replaced by Ditto. I don't know if he actually used it a lot, but in general, Johnny coming in as the underdog. I mentioned in the initial rankings of our week 1 that I wasn't sure how well this team was going to be. Metagross, solid pick. The Thunders was also pretty solid pick, and I really like the Ninetales, right? And then you have Urshifu and Pichu. Metagross, Pichu were in general already a really strong pick, but the rest of the team just didn't seem to synergize very well, in my opinion. So I am very excited to see Johnny on the top 8, mostly because I didn't expect him to make it far. And he proved me wrong, and I love that. As I like being right, but I also am okay if I'm proved wrong. And Johnny, also funnily enough, is I don't know what the right word would be, but like he's the only one that gave Ally Switchy Pain, the Mawa Murkers, their first loss, and he's our catfish from season 1. Hitting those one-hit KO moves, pretty much like the luck, except for one match, like. His luck was insane, like sheer codes coming left and right, and I just in general, Johnny was a very. It was one of those where I love watching him play because you could never know what might happen, and while I don't remember seeing the Ditto coming in place, I understand the swap. I mean, Ditto is still very threatening. You still have to prep for it because you don't even know what might happen. And Jellicent, it didn't feel like you needed it, especially when you already had P2. So. Congratulations, Johnny, on getting the third seed. You work hard for it. You very well deserved. Our next one, Johnny's opponents, Alola and Aegislash. As I mentioned previously, they fought in the first week. It was a little bit of a mess, but as Ben brought it back, he lost versus Johnny. Mostly because, I mean, week 1, anything can happen. It can get tricky. But Sven brought it back after that loss. I believe he only lost one more time. But in general, good job. It was just amazing. Like, you could have started 0-1 and just be like, this is not it for me. But the journey of Sven, I actually have followed it pretty nicely. He asked me to help him in his build. And you never know who has the weakness policy, first of all. It could be the Lapras, it could be the Drampa, it could be the Centiskorch. The one fun fact is that his Hypnosis hit are kind of pretty... It started missing a lot at the start. I believe that he missed a couple in very crucial matches. I'm surprised Mudsdale did not see as much of a but also and Umbreon did not see much of a game. I pretty much probably, given the fact that Sven is a little bit newer to the league, and he wanted to get more comfortable because we noticed that Lapras, Raichu, Centiskorch, Raichu, like those three months were a very strong score. And then if he didn't bring Raichu, there was potentially Jinx or Goff. Goff started coming less, and Raichu came in more just because Raichu with an even faster fake out, Nuzzle, Ear Impulse, all those annoying moves, it's pretty good on it. And then I love the fact that he also had Scarf Katana for one of his matches. So a lot of standard items and moves for the most part you will see in the Pokemon that Sven bring, but I think the uniqueness of like him swapping it around is what might get Johnny second guessing on his matches versus him. So looking forward to see how far Sven makes it. It is his first draft league, so very, very excited to see how he does. All right, KD. This is the guy that I like to call him Angela's rival. They're both in opposite brackets. Anything could happen. It could be the ones in the finals. Katie was another one of those where I was like, what does your team do? It looks weird. I mean, you have Cinderace, and Cinder is so good. Zapdos is also pretty good. Tapu Lele is not bad. Suicune is probably, I personally prefer Entei and then Suicune. But, you know, Suicune is pretty, you do have an amazing Prankster Mon. And then, I don't know about Regirock, right? And Regirock, I will think you bring it on mostly for that specific one or two potentially TR matchup, but otherwise I don't see you like really doing stuff. But yeah, Katie also did not change his team, stay pretty much it. He had an amazing matchup between Angela and him. I really enjoy watching them, and they're going against Pokeson, who is, we'll talk a little bit more about that. But given what Katie has, I think he has the tools to get the upper hand on Pokeson, but we'll see. It's very tricky, and I don't know what Katie could do, but he has the I believe in him. I will give him a shout out. I believe he can at least make it a game 3. That would be awesome. And you know, it's a unique team, and when I'm not familiar enough, like I know how good some of these individual ones are, it's how he team builds them into making them work together that will make the difference. Last but not least, Pokeson. So Pokeson had the weirdest team. Like it was a little messy. His team had some stuff that I wasn't sure were the best. I just feel very hyper offense. But I mean, sometimes you just need this hyper offense. Like you just need to just go brr, brr, brr. And PZ has been that. It's the MVP of Pokeson's team, and boy, like if you don't have a solution for it, you're just gonna get run through. Plus, you have Regidrago and Dracovish too, fast Pokemon, spread damage from Regidrago. I mean, you have a two Tailwind Centers and Clefairy Fake Out. Like, there's so many different tools that Pokeson on his core can bring. Super strong ones, super hyper offensive, and if you don't have a way to stop this, you're gonna be in trouble. Like, you absolutely will be in trouble. I think you need to slow down, because otherwise I've seen that PC just running through all 4 Pokemons from the opponent. But yeah, I believe Pokeson did not do any trades either. And in general, I mean, I wouldn't trade most of that. I think maybe he might have traded one, but PZ, Clefairy, Regidrago, Dracovish, especially those 4, have been like crucial for a lot of his wins. Like, he has been able to shine with them and just go through it. He started going through a slightly like losing streak, but otherwise he did a very good job, and I was very excited to see how well he was doing. So Katie might be probably a little bit tougher on him. As I mentioned, Katie does have more of like the bulky TR mode that he could try going. Has an amazing prankster, and you really only have really one fake out to deal with it, so it's not even guaranteed. So it'll be interesting how their matches go. But again, congratulations to my top 8. You guys had amazing teams. Most of you guys did not do any major changes, and it can show. Like, you drafted a team you wanted, you drafted a team that you trusted, and it's doing well and made you go to top 8. So we'll see if you guys make it all the way in the end. All right, and that was a little summary. Mine was a little shorter than Jaden's, but I was trying to keep this video not too long because I'm trying to squeeze them out. But that was our top 8 little discussion, little shiny moment for them. But let's go a little bit faster and forward to who made it out of this top 8 to our top 4. And there you have it. The San Diego Palkies take a win versus the Feisty Crafty. Meanwhile, an unexpected upset. I did not see this happening, but the new Barklao puppies, 45 miles, who have probably one of the toughest season all alone, makes the upset, beats our season 1 champion. And unfortunately, we did not have a recording for it, but GG's 45 miles. I know you guys been working a little together, and man, that must have been tough. The season 1 champion ended up going down. We only have one season 1 returning player still in the top 4, and I mean, it's gonna be rough. I think I feel like the markers might be helping out the puppies to beat Angelo. Angelo, I hope you're prepared. It's gonna be a little bit tough. And on the other side, Sven, our newbie, overcoming things and actually making it to the top 4, beating Johnny and his luck. Meanwhile, another crazy upset. I did expect Pokemon to maybe able to PC through it, but Boston Red Leos, Katie being like, nah, I want to make it. So he makes it to top 4. And this is crazy. I did not see this top 4 except for the San Diego Palkia. I did know that Ducky was like surprised and wasn't ready. And the matchup actually really rough, but the other 3 I did not expect to be in the top 4 given the strong music that. So congratulations, that was amazing from them. But now, the games for the Lolan, Elijah, and Katie did ended up being on, I think they all both stream and they're on their respective YouTubes. I did put the YouTubes for the players that do have stream their matches, just so you guys can check it out, because as I say, I'm condensing this video. But anyway, this is our top 4, and then after we had to delay it a little bit, but it worked out. But after a long week, let me show you our grand finals. I don't know if any of you guys saw this. I know it was actually kind of crazy. 45 mice ended up, unfortunately, even though he had the matchup, making a minor mistake, and Angelo punishes it and wins it. It was a very close game 3. The same could be said about the Boston Leos versus the Long Aguilash. I know Katie really wanted to go against Angelo again, especially after their super close game 3s they had in the regular season. But Sven brings it up, showing, hey, I might be new to the draft league, but I can still make it. And we had San Diego Palkia versus the Lolan Ageless as our final. And man, I believe Angelo is probably gonna be posting it in his YouTube too. It was a crazy final. It went all the way to game 3, but our winner, okay, our final winner is none other than, that's right, Sven, the Lolan Aegis, our Raid Draft League Season 2 champion. It was crazy. Landers, who I believe Sven hasn't been using that much, became the MVP for this match. And once again, the Season 1 champion had Landers, the Season 2 champion had Landers. I think in the future, people, I think we should be getting Landers. I think that's a key. The Metagross didn't do it, the Landers did it. So, huge congratulations to Sven. I mean, your first draft league and winning, you had a tough opponents going through. I mean, Katie, as I mentioned, was a veteran draft person. He has done this. Same with Angelo. This is not his first ordeal. So even though I was a little nervous about your team, 3 fake outs these users, mostly been using Lapras and Sentiscorch, a good job, Sven. So congratulations. Big shout outs. Really amazing. And then with this, I'm gonna be ending the YouTube video. I'm really hoping this is not too long. But the Ray Draft League will come back for Scarlet Violet. We're looking roughly maybe at January. A little hard to tell. We need to work on the tiers unless someone else works the tiers for us. But stay tuned and I will get better about these videos. But thank you guys for watching and hope you enjoyed. Until next time, bye!